Hi Pisces, I hope that you're all doing well. This reading is going to be for you regarding what's going to be unfolding for you over the next 3 to 6 days. To me, 3 to 6 days sounds a little strange. I don't know why that's the number, but that's what was coming through, so we're just going to go with that, okay? Okay, first card that we have out is Knight of Wands. Knight of Cups. Two of Cups. It looks like there's a joining of forces here with Knight of Wands and Knight of Cups. This can be somebody that you are interacting closely with. What this can also indicate is that when we start off with Knight of Wands, there is a need for us to really be following our hearts. Both of these cards, like both Wands and Cups, are about that. Wands can be, it can be necessary for you to be brave with something that you're doing, or you have to be courageous, or like maybe spontaneity is needed. There's going to be like fire that's needed from you, motivation, willingness that will be needed on your part. And sometimes with the Knight of Wands, there can be some type of challenge, so you sort of have to be ready for whatever it is that's going to be presenting itself to you. Also, having the Knight of Cups means that like it's necessary for you to do this in a genuine way, for you to do this in a heartfelt way, and Two of Cups can be needing to merge those two energies. That fire, passion, willingness needs to be there, that like bravery or courage needs to be there, and also making sure that you're tuning into your heart space, and that is also considered and involved with the moves that you're making. Having starting off with two Knights does indicate moves that you're making, progress, ground that you're covering. Eight of Swords and King of Swords can be, there's like problem solving that's needed, but you can maybe not be like believing in yourself. With Eight of Swords, we can sort of feel stuck, or we can be like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to figure this out. But that's more so like a narrative that we're sort of putting ourselves within. I'm not actually seeing that be the case. Having you come out as the King of Swords, it shows that you're able to problem solve. You just need to apply yourself, work with yourself. Mental stuff can be coming up for you. Believe in yourself. So there may be a need for like positive affirmations working through this to encourage you that you're going to get it figured out. And that there's nothing that you're being presented with that's going to be over your head. I'm really not seeing that be the case. Okay. This looks like it has to do with a change that you're going through currently. Some of you even within your personal life. Yeah, I get the sense of you being faced with something that there can definitely be like a tendency to overthink here a bit. Kind of like more simplistically, this feels like you just need to like do the thing that you know you need to do, even though it can feel difficult to do that. I'm seeing Scorpio and Aquarius. Okay. So maybe there's like something significant that's going down in a close relationship of yours. I get that this was unexpected. This can mean that there's like a blow up between you and somebody that you are close with, Pisces. It can even feel like a relationship is sort of falling apart a little bit. What's happening in the grand scheme of things is that pieces that are being put together that aren't meant to be together are sort of separating at this point. When the Tower comes through, it can feel chaotic and it can feel difficult to channel. The part of you that's going to look at this Tower and sort of run towards it and be like, okay, this is what's happening, just got to figure it out. You can be having a difficult time channeling that part of yourself, but it's like very necessary for you to do at this time, for you to be flexible. It's kind of like if you're riding a wave, it's more likely that you're going to stay on the board if you're able to adjust to what's happening within the water. However, it can feel difficult to do that when we are rigid, especially when we're getting too much in our heads about this and not channeling the rest of our other energy that will actually help us adapt to what's currently going on. Seeing the star, this can be like something that you want, something that you're hoping for, and it can be something where the star is feeling to me like it's feeling like a hope or a wish that you had, and then having Five of Cups can be something that didn't go exactly as you thought. It's simultaneously very important for you to not lose all of your hope going through something that may be different than you expected it to be. And then having that Tower there feels like a reconciliation that's like potentially being made between maybe where you started off seeing things, where things went, and then having to reconcile the difference between those two things. And as this Tower is happening too, having this Eight of Swords, it can be a time where this thing is happening, you can't deny that it's happening, it can feel like a big thing, it can feel really dramatic within your life, and then having that Eight of Swords can be this almost like a freeze response to what's going on, and like I'm not going to be able to figure this out, or I'm not going to be able to adjust to this, or like there's nothing that I can do here, and then you just like freeze and don't do anything. And it feels like that's kind of like the initial go-to here. I'm not seeing that be necessary. I get the feeling like something that you may have wanted to go together is like not going together. That's like the best way that I can explain what I'm seeing energetically, but it's only because something wasn't supposed to go like that. And that's why the Tower is happening, to say like, hey, those pieces don't belong together, but it can be something that you wanted them to go together. And now that that's happening, or you wanted to connect with something and it's not being like that, because of that and things like seemingly falling apart, what is actually happening is that things are actually moving into place here. But as far as like what you initially thought and wanted, it can be different. And even though this is how things are supposed to be, when it comes to like our egos and what we desire and like our plan for things are going differently than that. And so you can feel a little bit beside yourself because of it, which is okay. It's the experience that you're having. There's nothing wrong with it. But to go so far as to feel like you need to shut down completely and like there's just giving up and there's nothing for you to do here, that doesn't have to be, like, it's not the only alternative here. It feels like it's still really important for you to like keep following your heart and doing what you believe in. This isn't meant to discourage you. It's not meant to deter you from like believing in yourself and what you want and your dreams. It just feels like one of those things that like trying to put something together that like those pieces don't go together, and then the fallout of that happening. But it's not meant to like make you never want to dream again or never have hope again, or that like this path is pointless. Like I almost feel this really extreme, like going from here to like all the way down there, and it feels like there needs to be more of a sense of like equilibrium here. It's feeling like like, don't misinterpret what this is that's going on. It's not telling you to not have hopes and dreams and to not follow your heart. It's just saying that, like, those pieces don't go together. That's literally it. So we keep going and we keep moving and we acknowledge that, and then we, like, keep doing our thing. It's just one of those times where, like, when we try to put stuff together that doesn't belong together, there are more issues that come with that. So the Tower is actually a good thing, saying, like, that doesn't go together. Otherwise, you know, when you're trying to force pieces together that don't go together, it will, like, break the whole machine, and you don't want that to be happening. It just feels like one of these, like, smaller pieces that those don't go together, and you have to find the right piece for it. But that, like, I thought that these were the pieces that go together, and then you find out that it's not. It can feel hard to sort of adjust to a change in, like, your mindset about that when you had an expectation that those were the pieces that went together. I do feel, I mean, having Mars and having Moon together, this can feel kind of abrasive. It can feel like it can just feel hard to have these energies come together here. It can feel kind of rough emotionally. Even though there's an awakening to truth, it can still feel very rough. But then I'm seeing High Priestess and I'm seeing Six of Wands, and this feels like you're stepping into a space where there is the High Priestess is the part of you that is seeking the truth, the deeper truth. Having Six of Wands next to it feels like there is a deeper truth that is revealed, so you're not in the dark anymore, but it can be a truth that you can look at that and feel like that's a difficult thing maybe to accept. This is meant to, in finding out that the pieces before that you're trying to fit together don't go together, in the wake of that truth, you unite again with the part of yourself that knows the truth. You come back together with that, because this feels like there had actually been a separation. You had been separate from the High Priestess, like you had been distant from the part of you that knows that deeper truth. And the Tower comes through and, like, brings actually those pieces of yourself back together. But in doing that, it tells you what didn't belong together, that you were trying to, like, hold together. Tower comes through and says, nope, not gonna happen, and, like, pulls your hands apart, and the thing falls apart. So you see, like, it was only staying together because I was holding it together. Like, it didn't naturally go together like that. And so then you see the pieces sort of fall. But what happens in that moment is that you're connected back with the truth again. And you can see the truth again. And so you're not separate from the truth anymore. You're not blinded anymore. You can see. This can be a moment that feels a bit, it can just be a lot. I'm seeing us end with the Three of Swords, so you can be going through a lot emotionally right now. This can be something that you weren't anticipating. It can be something that you didn't expect to be going on. It can also be something that you may have felt like you were totally unaware of this before, and now you're becoming aware of it. And it can be a big, big Tower moment that you're experiencing, where you see just like how things have been this whole time, but how you weren't seeing it this whole time. Which can feel startling, like, how was I not aware of that? But the beautiful thing is that you are aware of it now. Like, you're seeing things now, and now is just the picking up of the pieces. Now is I think that there are going to be a lot of questions popping up, like, how was I not seeing this before? Like, how did I really think it was this way when it's really that way? It's like when you see it clearly, when you see clearly and you're just seeing, and you like the glasses are on and you are seeing everything as clearly as possible, everything that was like misled or misguided or that was based in something other than the truth, you like basically go back and you're rehashing that, like, oh, that's where I wasn't seeing, and like that's what led me to believe that, but then that wasn't true. It's like all of those misconceptions start coming to light. So it's going to be a process of going through that, because basically all of those things are going to come up to be reviewed. But that also is an important part of the process as well, because it shows you how not to go down that path again. It shows you how to never have to experience this again. And I do get the feeling of thinking that something was going to be the way and something was the path, and then you being shown that it's different than that. So you could have felt like something was destined with the star here, and then what you come to realize with the death card is that you're on a different path than that. That's not the path, something else is the path. That's not the way, something else is the way. And so something that you could have been like, yep, this is what's supposed to be happening, this is a redirection. And I feel like this is aligned with some type of misconception that had been going on. Like, I'm almost seeing you looking at something and feeling like that's the way that I wanted to go, but it's like that wasn't what was supposed to be happening. And it was coming from a place that was not based in the truth. And it can be coming from a place where it's like we want something so deeply and so intensely that we tell ourselves what we need to be able to keep that going on. And then this can be that moment where the truth comes out, and we see that that thing that we had been holding close to us was not that other part of ourselves. It was something else that did not fit there. And that's why that I just keep seeing that image of like holding something together and the tower coming through and pull, like, because you don't have to hold something together like this. If it goes together, you can just hold it like this and it stays together. The tower coming through and putting your hands like this, and you see the thing like pull apart from one another, these things, and the tower saying, see, they don't go together, and then realizing like they'd only gone together because you were holding them like that. And it can be that moment where you're like, oh, well, like, why did the tower have to show that to me? But what also is the thing about this is that you end up just seeing the truth now. Like, you can see, and this allows for, this is a successful breakthrough for you seeing the truth. Like, this is actually a win for you, because before, whatever was going on had been based in something other than the truth. And so as much as you can like be like, no, I'm happy with it like this, if it's not the truth, you're not going to feel that in the deeper parts of you, and you're going to feel like something is off, like something is wrong, even if you don't want to admit to it. So now this feels like a moment where there's like a force to see it. And this is actually it's a very significant moment for you, where this is a point where you have put 2 and 2 together and you see what's really going on here. However, it can still leave you in a spot where you're like, what now? Like, now that this has happened, like, I don't even know how to feel about this. Like, now that I can really see the truth here, and there can be pain that you're experiencing. There was an attachment to something that wasn't the truth. And then the having to go through the process of releasing this thing that wasn't the truth, because the truth is now here, and seeing that, and that being what you're going through right now. And there can be a part of you that's sort of like feeling kind of all over the place. I'm just going through a lot right now. I don't really know even what to do with this, and just the whole coming to terms with all of this as well that's happening too. And that's where I'm seeing us be with things. This does definitely feel like a big deal moving through this. Even though initially you can feel like, I don't even know how I feel about this, that's just part of the process. And once you're like processing through things, you're not going to remain feeling like that. It's just the, like, in that moment when the truth comes out, it can feel jarring. And so there's going to be an adjustment period. And so I'm seeing us end with you beginning the adjustment period of that. Now that things have been put back, like things have been centered again. But this can feel like a really harsh thing emotionally. and mentally to sort of bear witness to. All right, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.